My brothers and sisters, what is good, everybody? Steel Sermon in the house. Tuesday night, just got done with Monday night football between the Broncos and the Chargers as the Broncos special teams cost Denver and they fall again in primetime. Please stop putting this friggin' team on primetime, man. Plain simple. But yeah, I can't complain at all about week 6. 9-5, second place in my division pretty much. Just a real good week for me considering how it started for me. I started 1-3 and I finished 8-2 after that. And I finally got an upset pick right, man. I finally did. Took me 6 weeks, but I finally got an upset pick right. So let's friggin' go, man. 9-5, real good week for me. And let's just keep up the good work right there. So, that being said, as always, I'm going to start with my biggest winner and loser for week 6. And I think you guys are going to like who my biggest winner for week 6 is. My biggest winner for week 6, my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 6 biggest winners. We had Akella Witherspoon out. We had Minka Fitzpatrick out. We had Larry Ogunjobi get hurt. We had Kenny Pickett suffer a concussion. We had conservative play calling after Kenny Pickett led a sensational first drive to open the game. And Mitch Trubisky comes in, finds Chase Claypool for the game-sealing touchdown against a Super Bowl favorite in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have none other than Tom Brady as their quarterback, who had been 12-3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into this game. We had Myles Jack get shaken up. We pretty much had our entire secondary out. And we win. Cam Sutton out too, by the way. Not Terrell Edmonds. Cam Sutton out too. We beat him 20-18. Mike Tomlin absolutely mentally preparing the team up for a tough game. We didn't explode. We didn't blow them up. But we fought hard and we fought until the very end. And we were just competitive. We kept taking them jabs in the boxing ring, and when the final round came, we were the last one standing. That's Pittsburgh Steelers football that I'm talking about. That is being prepared, and that is being tough. Pittsburgh Steelers, my biggest winner for week 6. My biggest loser for week 6. This one took a little bit to think about, and there are definitely some strong candidates for it. But after I saw what happened for this Monday night game, I think my biggest loser for week 6 has to be the Denver Broncos special teams. I mean, your special teams cost you the game. You're averaging 15 points a game now this season, even with Russell Wilson as your quarterback. And you continue to just be a complete embarrassment to the league. And now you're 2-4. You are barely ahead of the Las Vegas Raiders in the AFC West. And your special teams cost you the game. Because if Taylor doesn't bump into the returner there, Broncos probably have good field position on a return. And Russell Wilson probably could have engineered a comeback. But the special teams cost him. Muff punt. Chargers win with their kicker having a bum leg. Denver, you are my biggest loser for week 6. Plain and simple. Although the Green Bay Packers were my original biggest loser because you get blown out at home by the Jets. But after I saw this game, it takes the cake. Denver Broncos, my biggest loser for week 6. So I'll do it. Those are my biggest winners and losers for week 6. And as always, if you're looking to become a member of the tournament, please hit me up down in the comments below and tell me if you want to be in there, because I had to disqualify another member for just being dishonest in the pool. So, yeah, if you want to join and take the place, be my guest, and I will put you right in. But yeah, these are my Week 7 picks of the 2022 NFL season. It's lucky number 7. I'm bound to have another good week. These are my Week 7 picks, 2022 NFL season. Let's get on to it. And starting things off, Thursday night, we actually have somewhat of a decent game. This could be a good game, actually. We got the New Orleans Saints and the Arizona Cardinals. This one is down in the desert. The Saints coming off a tough loss at home to the Cincinnati Bengals, while the Cardinals, they're coming off getting embarrassed at home by the Seattle Seahawks. Couple of things to say about this one. The Saints, they're kind of like a double-edged sword. Their offense has been way better than what I thought it'd be, and I think a lot of people can vouch for that. They're being competitive with Andy Dalton as their QB, and Taysom Hill is proven to be a great X factor for him. A healthy, Alvin Kamara being in the roster and in the backfield certainly helps out too. But New Orleans' defense has been a letdown. This is a team that I thought would have one of the top defenses in the league this year, and they really haven't looked all that sharp on defense so far. So the Saints, they find themselves in trouble, and they need to really claw their way back up in order to get back in the swing of things in the NFC South, because it is wide open down there. Arizona Cardinals. Cliff Kingsbury is an absolute disgrace of a head coach. How that guy still has a job is beyond me. He needs to be fired. I mean, he has absolutely no clue how to use this offense. Their defense is good, but their offense, man, is just awful because of Cliff Kingsbury. He just don't know how to use it, man. Although I will say the biggest X factor here, because New Orleans' defense has been a letdown, I think the Cardinals, I'll give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because they're missing DeAndre Hopkins. And I made a mistake in my picks last week when I said that Week 6 would be the return date for DeAndre Hopkins. Week 7 is, so I was wrong with that. So this is DeAndre Hopkins' first game back. And I think that should be a big difference maker for Arizona because Kyler Murray does have a lot of great chemistry with DeAndre Hopkins. So if Arizona can't win with Diop coming back, they're in serious trouble. So it took me a little bit to decide for this one, but I am going to go with the Arizona Cardinals to get off the schneid, get the job done over the struggling Saints, take advantage of their defense playing pretty weak right now. And I'm going to go with the Redbirds to get the job done over the New Orleans Saints. So, yeah, New Orleans, their struggling season continues, but give me the Cardinals to get the job done over the Saints. All right, kicking off the Sunday slate of games. First at bat, we got the Atlanta Falcons and the Cincinnati Bengals. This one is in the jungle as the Falcons could very easily be 5-1 in my opinion, as they blew out the San Francisco 49ers 28-14. You know, there was a reason I said part of me wants to pick Atlanta to beat San Francisco, and that's why right there. I don't know if the 49ers are complete on offense, and Atlanta's been playing extremely tough this year. So that's why I said a part of me wants to pick the Falcons. And the Bengals, they rallied and defeated the Saints. A 60-yard touchdown reception by Jamar Chase settled it in for the Bengals. And they fought back from a deficit and got the job done over the Saints. And the Bengals are 3-3. They are right back in the swing of things in the AFC North with the Baltimore Ravens. Again, I have to stress, a part of me wants to pick Atlanta. It really does. The Falcons have been playing incredibly tough this year so far, and I think that they're doing a lot better than what people give them credit for. Cincinnati, I mean, they're kind of just in there as well. They kind of got off to a slow start, but they've really picked things up ever since week 3. So I think the Bengals just have a little bit of a hotter hand right now, a more established offense than the Falcons do. On defense, though, it's pretty much the same. So I think that right there is just the biggest takeaway when it comes to the Falcons and the Bengals. So this is one I'm kind of unsure about, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my usual and go home team here. I'm going to go with the Bengals to get the job done over the Falcons, but I would not honestly be surprised if Atlanta beat them. But I'm going to go Bengals with this one. Next up, Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. This one is down in Dallas. Lions coming off their bye week. They're 1-4. The last time they played, shut out by the New England Patriots. You didn't think that would happen with the way Detroit's been playing on offense this year so far. And it don't get easier for them as their next opponent are the Dallas Cowboys, have, in my opinion, the most complete defense in the league. They have been playing extremely well defensively this year, mainly with Micah Parsons. That guy is just making a total difference with Dallas's defense there, and he has to be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year so far. I believe they lead the league in sacks. I believe they lead the league in pressure. I mean, just about every statistic on defense that you can think of for the Cowboys, I think they lead in currently right now. And biggest question for the Cowboys, well, not a question anymore, but the biggest headline for the Cowboys, that game against Philly, a game in which the Eagles promptly won, which I knew they would, that could have been Cooper Rush's last start for the Cowboys, because this is the week that Dak Prescott is able to return, and I think Dallas's offense is going to have a lot of more firepower and extra just adrenaline going through it now, because Dak works the best with that offense there. Zeke in the backfield. Tony Pollard has been incredible for him. And then, of course, you got CeeDee Lamb as their number one and Michael Gallup there as well. Dallas, they just have way too much firepower on that offense for Detroit's defense. The Lions just have a hideous defense. And so for that, I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys to get the job done over the Lions and improve to 5-2, keeping pace with the Eagles in the NFC East. Next at bat, we got the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. This one is down in Nashville, as the Colts are coming off a come-from-behind win against the Jags, 34-27. A game in which Matt Ryan threw the ball 58 friggin' times, and the Colts somehow won. Their run game was non-existent because they got themselves into a deficit after they got shut out by Jacksonville. They finally scored some points against them. So Indianapolis getting the job done over Jacksonville. Titans coming off their bye week, I believe. And the last time they played, they had another game in which they nearly let the lead get away from them, but Tennessee prevailed nonetheless. So this matchup right here, I think the biggest issue that I have with the Tennessee Titans is that they never ever learn how to close out a game. I gave him a pass for it in 2019 because we're like, okay, Ryan Tannehill's here and he probably has to learn a new system with Mike Vrabel and it's a bunch of young players. But it's 3 years later and the Titans are still kind of having the same problem. They just really struggle to close out a game. And then they go up against a powerhouse like Buffalo and they get manhandled by them like they did on Monday night back in, was it week 2, I believe it was. The point is, I just don't think Tennessee is really all that good. I just think that they get incredibly lucky at times. So that's my thing with the Tennessee Titans. Indianapolis Colts, I don't think they're particularly great either. I don't think the NFC South or the AFC South is really all that great in general. But I think that the last time these two teams played, Tennessee had a big lead on Indy, and the Colts nearly came back and won. See, that's what I'm talking about right there with struggling to close out a game. The Titans should have crushed the Colts in that last matchup. And I think now that they play each other again, Indy is going to remember that game, and I think they actually have more momentum than Tennessee coming into that. I am going to go with the Indianapolis Colts to avoid the sweep. So yeah, this was a difficult one, but I just think Indy just has more momentum right now than Tennessee does. I'm going to go with the Colts to get the job done over the Titans. Who would think the Green Bay Packers would be included in a toilet bowl for me on my channel? But here it is. My toilet bowl of the week. Green Bay Packers, Washington Commanders down in D.C. The Packers got absolutely scalped at home by the New York Jets. The New York Jets, 27-10. And the Packers, they are in a lot of trouble right now, if you ask me. Washington, I believe they are one of the worst teams in the league. I don't think they're the worst team in the league after last Thursday, but they're definitely a bottom 5 team. Let me put it to you like that. They win 12-7 over the Chicago Bears on Thursday Night Football. So another embarrassing Thursday Night Football game right there. So, yeah, I mean, neither of these teams are good right now. Green Bay, they are too good to be this bad right now. And it looks like that Devontae Adams trade is hurting them big time here. You know, Aaron Rodgers is just not having a good time developing chemistry with these targets that he has now. Washington's just not good in general unless they play on Thursday night with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is undefeated all time in his career on Thursday Night Football. So the takeaway for this, Washington, they just continue to be a disappointment. And the defense only looked good because they went up against Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears, who are QB purgatory for the NFL, or the QB recycle bin for the NFL. Now they have to go up against Aaron Rodgers, who granted really hasn't had a good year this year. But I think if there's a bounce-back game for the Packers, I think this week is the one to do it. So I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers to get the job done over Washington to snap their 2-game losing streak. First time, by the way, first time under Matt LaFleur's career or tenure as head coach for the Packers that they've lost back-to-back games. That's pretty remarkable to think about, you know. But I'm going to go Green Bay here to get the job done over Washington. All right, next up, speaking of old quarterbacks that probably should call it a career, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going down to Carolina to play the Panthers. As I just said, Tom Brady, 45-year-old GOAT. I think he should have stayed. I'm officially saying it now. Tom Brady should have stayed retired. I wanted to wait a little bit because, you know, it's Tom Brady, and whenever everyone has doubted him in the past, he always had a game where he, like, threw 6 touchdown passes and, like, 400 yards, and they're like, oh, okay, I take back what I said about Brady. But this year, I'm officially saying it. Brady should have stayed retired. He's done. I think his divorce with Giselle right now is just getting in his head. I think he's just not himself, and it's just causing a big distraction for him. And I just think his skills are just being diminished. I mean, there's no reason why you look at it, the team that Tom Brady has, everything's there for him to be successful. One of the best O-lines in the league, Leonard Fournette in the backfield, who's proven to be a dual threat running back. Mike Evans, one of the best receivers in the league. Chris Godwin's been his favorite target since he went down to Tampa. Russ Gage becoming a real good target for him as well. He had Gronk the first 2 years in Tampa. They added Julio Jones in the offseason. I still think he's hurt, but he's still a dependable receiver and a savvy veteran there. And Tampa has one of the best defenses in the league. And they're 3-3. And they lost to a Steeler team that was missing half their defense, starting a rookie quarterback who got injured and is in concussion protocol, and had to go with Mitch Trubisky in that game. Tampa is just not good this year. And no, I for sure don't think they're going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't even think they'll make it out of the wild card, if they'll even get to the playoffs this year at that. But is Carolina any better? Absolutely not. You know, the Panthers, I mean, they just traded Robbie Anderson to Arizona. So that's something else I forgot to say in my my analysis with Saints-Cardinals. Robbie Anderson is with the Cardinals now after that thing that he had with the Panthers this past Sunday. So Carolina looks like they're going on a fire sale. This is in my opinion, the second worst team in the league because at least they have one redeeming quality for them, and that is CMC when he's fully healthy. He is a really good running back, but I think CMC is going to be on his way out soon, because Carolina's just going on a fire sale right now. But yeah, Tampa Bay, if they don't win this game, they are officially overrated in my opinion, and Tom Brady is officially done if they lose this game to Carolina. Give me the Bucs to get the job done over the Panthers. So this is actually not my lock of the week. I know it should be a lot of people's locks of the week just because of the matchup, but trust me, I got a much better lock of the week coming up. But yeah, I got Tampa winning this one over Carolina. Next at bat, the New York Giants and the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Jacksonville. How about the New York Giants, man? 5-1. I mean, are the Giants lighting up the stat sheet and are they dominating everybody? No. But you know what the Giants are? They're a bunch of fighters. They never give up. They never quit. When they get in a deficit, they don't hang their heads and they don't go like, oh, woe is me, I'm in a deficit. They put their dukes up and they fight until the very end of the game. And Brian Daboll is the epitome of that. Either him or the other head coach in New York who's doing a phenomenal job so far. You can't go wrong with either one of them for being coach of the year so far. But I would go with Brian Daboll because he has rejuvenated Saquon Barkley and he made Daniel Jones into a mentally tough quarterback. Daniel Jones has cut down on the mistakes. He looks like a smarter quarterback now. And the young players on this Giants team are stepping up to the plate and taking the reins. Giants defense is playing better, and I really like where this Giants team is going. Like, do they have any superstars on their team outside of Barkley? No. But they do the fundamentals. They do the little things right, and that's what wins you football games. Every week, the Giants find a way to win. They snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Years ago, Giants would find ways to lose. But Brian Daboll has set a culture in New York, and that's why the Giants are 5-1, and that's why they are right there with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East. Then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags, not a good team. Jags are not a good team. They looked like they would be turning their season around after they blew out the Chargers. Then Jacksonville's promptly lost every single game after that. I just don't know what the deal is with Jacksonville. They're just not a good team in my opinion. So I'm going to go with the New York Giants to get the job done here and remain undefeated on the road. That's right. I'm going to go with the Giants here. Yeah, I think this will be the game where the Giants finally get a dominant win. Jacksonville they look like a team that, okay, yeah, they've improved. Let's wait and see. And now they're back to what we thought they'd be. I'm going to go with the Giants to get the job done over the Jags. All right, next up, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This one is in Baltimore as the Browns got absolutely roundhouse kicked at home by the Patriots, 38-15. Bailey Zappi went off on the Browns, and the Patriots defense just cremated Cleveland all afternoon. And somehow Joe Woods is still Cleveland's defensive coordinator. And the thing with the Browns is that they have just lost complete faith in Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski went from being, in my opinion, one of the most likable coaches in the league and a top coach in the league to being a guy who's just standing on the sideline and watching his team play. He doesn't really act like a coach. He doesn't game plan well. He doesn't set his players straight well. He's just not a good disciplinarian. And in order to be a head coach, you have to be a good disciplinarian. Kevin Stefanski just ain't that. I know Nick Chubb got 12 touches, but he barely got any yards. It's just not good play calling altogether, and that's why Cleveland is what they are right now. I mean, sure, when Deshaun Watson comes back, or when Deshaun Watson starts for the Browns, in week 12, week 13, whenever it is. I don't think it'll make much of a difference for the Browns. I still think they're just not a solid team. They don't play like it. Baltimore Ravens, I don't think they're very good either. I mean, the Ravens, they're another double-edged sword. Their offense is good, but man, has their defense been a letdown. When all three of Baltimore's losses have been because of blown leads by at least 10 points, that is a big problem, and it's a sign of coaching. I used to say that John Harbaugh was the better coach between him and Tomlin. That was the one thing I always gave credit to the Ravens for in the rivalry. Looking at it now, I don't know. It looks about even right now. You know, Mike Tomlin, he would not have that many blown leads this year. Or in general, he would not have that many blown leads in that fashion, let alone a 21-point lead. You know, and if I'm a Ravens fan, I'd be very disappointed with John Harbaugh, and I'd be even madder at Lamar Jackson because he cost Baltimore the game with the fumble. I think he threw an interception. Baltimore just flat out choked once again to the Giants. And that's why the Ravens are sitting at 3-3. Baltimore could be 6-0. Just wrap your mind around that. The Ravens could be 6-0. But their coaching and the players have cost them the game. And that's why they're sitting at 3-3. Their defense, too. Their defense has been a major disappointment, too. So with all that being said, who do I got winning this game? Well, I think it's going to be a close game for all the wrong reasons. I think it's going to be an absolute lack of defense-orientated game. And I think it's going to be a shootout for all the wrong reasons. Neither defense can get out of their own way. It just seems like that's another thing that the Browns and Ravens are synonymous for, if you know what I mean. But in this one, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to get the job done over Cleveland. Because like I said last week, Ravens season this year, week 1, win. Week 2, loss. Week 3, win. Week 4, loss. Week 5, win. Week 6, loss. And now week 7, win. I think that pattern continues for the Ravens until it gets snapped. I'm going to go Ravens to get the job done over Cleveland. All right, kicking off the later slate of games. First up, we got the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos. This one is in Mile High. The Jets are 4-2, second place in the AFC East. Who would think the New York Jets would be this good this deep into the season? They have been a pleasant surprise. Both New York teams have been a pleasant surprise. The Giants and Jets have both been pleasant surprises. I believe the last time the Jets and Giants were both good in the same season was like 2010. It's been a long time since both New York teams were good. So yeah, the Jets are playing very well so far. I am thoroughly surprised with the Jets. Robert Saleh, just like Brian DeBall with the Giants, he has done a phenomenal job with the Jets. I mean, do the Jets have superstars on their team? No. But he has made Zach Wilson into a baller, and he has done a phenomenal job, especially with that defense the Jets have. Going to Lambeau and dominating Aaron Rodgers' Packers, and the week before they did that to the Dolphins. Granted, it was because, Tua couldn't play in that game and they had to go with Teddy Bridgewater, so you didn't really know what Dolphin team you're getting. But regardless, would the Jets have won any of those games 2 years ago? Absolutely not. The Jets have turned their franchise around, it looks like, and they are a massive surprise this year. Jets have won my respect, man. Denver Broncos have gotten anything but my respect this year. They've gotten my absolute disrespect. As I said, they were my biggest loser for week 6. Nathaniel Hackett's an idiot. Why this guy's still head coach of the Broncos, I have no idea. This guy should be selling t-shirts out on the streets underneath highways and begging people for quarters or something. He should be changing your oil every month or so. I mean, this guy is just a complete buffoon. 15 points a game, and we're 6 weeks into the season? Are you kidding me? Denver seriously can't do any better than that? The Broncos are screwed, man. I mean, their defense is good, but man, oh man, is their offense flawed. And I can't believe the Broncos are favored by 3 for this game as I'm recording this video. I can't believe Denver is favored by 3 just because of Russell Wilson and Jerry Jeudy and all that stuff and that top defense they have. Well, you know what? This is my upset of the week. I'm going with the New York Jets to go into Denver, stun the Broncos, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets blow these guys out. The Jets just have continuity and they have confidence in themselves. Denver just has no plan with what they're doing whatsoever. So yeah, the Jets should be favored for this one. And like I said, I can't believe Denver is favored for this game, but I am calling this my upset of the week. New York Jets going to Denver and beat the Broncos. The Jets have proven to me that they can win games this year. They've won their last 3 games. They beat us in week 4. And now that loss to the Jets is starting to look a little less bad. And then they blow out Miami and Green Bay in back-to-back weeks. The Jets have not lost a road game this year. And that comeback win they had against the Browns earlier in the year, starting to look less and less like a fluke. I'm going with the New York Jets to go into Denver and beat the Broncos. My upset of the week. Next, we got the Houston Texans and the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams had bye weeks this past week, and now they play each other. I believe the last time Houston played, they got their first win of the year against Jacksonville, and they're 1-3-1, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this game, or 1-4, whatever their record is. I don't care what their record is. They're the Texans. Vegas, I do know what their record is, and they're 1-4. But the Vegas Raiders, they have to be the best, worst team I've ever seen. Vegas, they have so much talent. Kind of like the Tampa Bay Bucs. They have so much talent, and they're 1-4. Derek Carr, is he a superstar quarterback? I don't think so, but he's a franchise quarterback. I'll give him that. Josh Jacobs, real good running back. They got Devontae Adams. I mean, granted, he got charged with that felony, I think. He's probably going to miss some time, but we all know what he is when he's playing. Waller, real good target for him. They have a little bit of a spotty defense, but it's still capable of making some plays. And Hunter Renfrow is a stud too. How is Vegas 1-4? You know, they're too good to be this bad. I mean, there's still time to turn the season around, but I think if Vegas drops another one here, I think it may be too late for them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders to get the job done here over the Texans. I mean, it looks like unless they're playing the Jags, the Texans just can't beat anybody. So I'm going to go with the Raiders to get the job done here over the Texans. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers. This one is in LA, as the Seahawks are coming off a win over the Cardinals at home. Seattle playing surprisingly well on offense, and the only reason their defense looked any good is because Cliff Kingsbury's an idiot. Meanwhile, the Chargers win in overtime on Monday night against the Broncos, and the Chargers are honestly not looking good. I mean, I know they're 4-2, but they're a very overrated 4-2. They've won their last 3. This is a team that I thought would compete with Kansas City in the AFC West. But I'm not sold on the Chargers. They just do not look like a good team. Like I said, I don't care if they're 4-2. They're very overrated 4-2. They should be about 3-3 or 2-4 in my opinion. The Chargers are just not playing well this year. Meanwhile, Seattle, they could have a couple more wins if their defense was better, because the production is there on offense, man. It really is. So I'm actually impressed with the way Seattle's playing. I think that Geno Smith has proven to be a capable starter for him, and their run game is playing really well as well. So the Seahawks, I would not sleep on them, and there is a distinct possibility they can win the NFC West after all that controversy they had about who their quarterback's going to be. So, who do I have winning this game? Well, this is another upset of mine. It's not my main upset of the week, but this is another upset of mine. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to go into LA and beat the Chargers. I just think the Seahawks have a more clear direction of where they're going as far as their offense goes. I think that they have a better run game than the Chargers do, even though Austin Eckler's a stud. But the Chargers, they just don't know how to use their offense fluidly. So I am actually going to go with the Seahawks to go to LA and beat the Chargers. Give me the Seahawks here. We got a rematch of Super Bowl 54, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 54, but the point is it was from not too long ago as the Kansas City Chiefs square off in San Francisco against the 49ers. As the Chiefs coming into this game at 4-2, dropping a tough loss at home to the Buffalo Bills. Kansas City should honestly be 3-3. They should have lost that Monday night game last week to the Raiders, but they're 4-2. Patrick Mahomes throws 2 costly picks against the Bills, including the game-losing interception. I think you got to put that one on Patrick Mahomes, man. I mean, the Chiefs, they had Buffalo beat, but, Patrick Mahomes just makes mistakes. Like, if the Chiefs don't turn the ball over against the Bills, they beat the Bills again. You can't turn the ball over against top defenses like that. And that came back and haunted Kansas City. And one guy who I'm happy to see doing well in Kansas City, Juju Smith-Schuster, because he used to play for my team. Juju Smith-Schuster is looking to be, is looking like he's Mahomes' new favorite target outside Travis Kelce. I mean, is he Tyreek Hill? No, but Juju's being very productive with him, So the Chiefs, I mean, their offense is still clicking real well. But just a bad game from Mahomes. I mean, you're asking Kansas City's defense to go up against the best quarterback in the league, in my opinion, Josh Allen, and that stacked Buffalo offense. So I didn't expect much from Kansas City's defense. You got to put that one on Mahomes, in my opinion. Meanwhile, the 49ers getting beat up in Atlanta by the Falcons. I think I gave the 49ers a little too much credit. I mean, still, I think Jimmy G gives them the best chance at winning. But taking a look at San Francisco's defense, or their offense, it's not really complete. I mean, Deebo Samuel is great and George Kittle is great, but, if they don't run the ball, it just seems like they don't be very productive. I mean, I think they can get something going against Kansas City's defense. But overall, I just think Kansas City is just too overpowered for San Francisco's defense here, and I think that they outmatch them on offense as well. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to get the job done over San Francisco and win the Super Bowl rematch. Usually the 49ers are pretty dependable for me, but they just have not looked dependable. They just weren't dependable. They just weren't dependable last week, or this past week, rather. I mean, I know they blew out Carolina, too, but come on, the Panthers are going to go on a fire sale. Who's impressed with that? Give me Kansas City to get the job done over the 49ers. Then we got my game, Sunday Night Football. Check your local listings, as it's the Minka Fitzpatrick Bowl. Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-4, going down to Miami to play the 3-3 Dolphins. So I guess they're not flexing this game. I thought for sure this game was going to be flexed, and put the Chiefs and 49ers on Sunday Night Football. But I guess this game is going to remain on Sunday night. But yeah, Steelers and the Dolphins. You know the news with us. We upset the Buccaneers 20-18. Upset of the season so far, man. I mean, we were 8-point underdogs heading in that game. We beat Tampa Bay. Upset of the season so far. half our defense was out, but Mike Tomlin did everything he could to mentally prepare this team for that battle against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Meanwhile, the Miami Dolphins, what are they doing at quarterback? You can ask the same question about us, actually, because Kenny Pickett is in concussion protocol. More on that with Tomlin Tuesday coming up and in my preview. But my thing with our situation at quarterback, and I'll get to the Dolphins in a little bit, but my thing with the quarterback situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers is this. If Kenny Pickett is 100% cleared to play, and I'm not just saying, Kenny Pickett said he's fine, so he's going to go out there and play. I'm saying a doctor cleared him to play. A doctor documented that he has been tested, passed, and is cleared from concussion protocol, and he can play in this game. That's the only way I would start Kenny Pickett in this game. Other than that, as much as I don't want to do it, you have to go with Mitch Trubisky for this game. Because if there's any team that can attest to starting if there's any team that understands how dangerous it is with starting a quarterback that's not healthy to play, it's our opponent, the Miami Dolphins. I've heard that Tua is prepping to start and he's preparing to start for this game. So that's a real good sign for Tua. I hope the best for him. I hope that he's okay. I hope that, he really is ready to go because let's face it, he's a young guy and he's a guy I have a lot of respect for, actually. So I really do hope that Tua is good to play for this game. But, Miami's on a 3-game losing streak. I think that in order for us to win this game, you got to take advantage of the fact that they're a little banged up in this game. I'm not saying go out there and injure Tua. I'm just saying rough him up. Give him a welcome back. Give him a little Pittsburgh Steeler welcome back. This defense played incredibly tough with our entire secondary being out. I don't know the status of it coming into this game. Again, I'll hear more about it from Tomlin in his press conference on Tuesday. That's why we call it Tomlin Tuesday. So I'll hear more about that. I think this is a game where we're really going to miss Minka and TJ if they're both still out for this game. Because we know that TJ is going to be out. He's going to be out until probably like mid-November now because of his knee surgery he's going to need. But if Minka doesn't play in this game, that's going to be huge for us too. That's going to be detrimental because Miami ain't no joke on offense. They got some real good young wide receivers that they're high on, and they've been productive. Parker's been real good for them. But the main prize, you guessed it, the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. How do you cover that guy? You just can't. His speed is uncanny. And I think no matter who his quarterback is, he's always a constant threat. And if our secondary is still banged up for this one, it's going to be a long night. It really is. It's going to be a long night trying to stop Tyreek Hill. I want to say so badly we can go down to Miami and beat the Dolphins because I believe we can win, okay? That win against Tampa gave me more confidence for this game. It did. It really did. But just the fact that, both teams have quarterback questions coming in this game, but that's really the only problem that Miami has is their quarterback question right now. Us, on the other hand, we have we have questions about injuries and starters that have yet to be answered. Sorry, guys, I got to go Miami on this one. Of course, I'm going to be repping my team. Of course, I'm going to cheer for them like crazy. I'm going to wake up all my neighbors on my floor. But for the sake of pick'em, I got to go with the Miami Dolphins to win this one. So, I think we'll keep it close. Miami is favored by 7 for this game. I think we can cover. But I'm going to go Miami for this one for the sake of pick'em. Sorry, guys. I mean, when I hear about the injuries, maybe I'll make a change. But for right now, I'm going Miami. So put a little asterisk next to this one. Then wrapping up week 7, we got Monday Night Football, and it looks like it's another crappy one. Chicago Bears, New England Patriots in Foxborough. The Bears losing a Thursday nighter to the Commanders. Justin Fields just proven to be, oh man, that the entire Chicago team is just in shambles. Meanwhile, New England. Bailey Zappi is their quarterback, and I think he should be their quarterback the rest of the way. I wouldn't even put Mac Jones back in. I'd say, you know what, Mac, sit your ass down on the bench. Bailey Zappi's been more productive than you, and he just gels better with this team. New England's defense ain't no joke either. The Patriots are getting it done on defense too. So New England, to my chagrin, is playing really good football right now. And it looks like all it took is that for Mac Jones to get injured. Oh boy. Did I just subconsciously say that this could be Tom Brady 2.0? Because if you remember, how did Tom Brady get his career started? Drew Bledsoe got knocked the hell out by the Jets, and Tom Brady came in and no one knew who he was. Could this be Bailey Zappi? I hope to God I'm wrong. Please don't hate me for bringing that up. Anyway, this is my lock of the week. Give me the New England Patriots to absolutely destroy the Bears here. And not only do I have this being my lock of the week, but I also got this being my point spread. New England wins this one, no contest, 38-7. I just think that the Patriots are playing real well right now, and that this is not the second coming of Tom Brady. So get that out of your head. Forget everything I just said. Give me New England to beat the Bears. It's just Chicago sucks and New England's just hot at the right time. I'll just say that. Give me the Patriots. Get the job done over the Chicago Bears. My lock and spread of the week. That'll do it. That's my Week 7 picks of the 2022 NFL season. Like I always say, let me know what you think down in the comments below. And I do have a free spot available just as a reminder if you missed that early on. This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the night. May God be with you all.